Okay, so the only real controls are on there, is that right?
Yeah, basically everything's up here.
Oh.
If you want to adjust your seat, that's on the right hand side there. If you can just touch the brake for 1 sec.
Yep,
that's good. So, yeah, you can adjust your seat on the right hand side, up and down, forward and back, and then we've got the steering wheel. You can adjust it like that.
That's all
right. Mirrors. So your left mirror, it's done with this button here. Mirrors are all good.
Yeah, they're basically in the right spot.
Yeah. So we can get rolling if you like.
Okay, so it's just
indicators on this side.
Yeah.
You've got your park, reverse, neutral drive, and you can knock it down and you'll be into drive.
Okay, so
that's neutral,
drive.
And then hard down will be drive.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, so we're off to a good start.
Off to a good start. Go around to the right. And then if we go right again, roundabout.
Oh, I can feel the regen there.
Yeah. Yeah, you can basically drive it around without using the brakes at all. If you want to.
Yeah.
So
if I put my foot down and then just take it off, it'll...
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
How do I get
so right here.
Right.
So yeah, you save on brake pad wear as well with that.
Okay, so it's certainly very responsive in terms of putting your foot on the accelerator.
Yep.
And getting an instant response. It's good.
Yeah, it's a straight line torque curve.
Yeah.
Now, if you just go a little bit further, there's a 90k zone up here, and we won't come to a full stop. But what you can do is
so that's my speed there.
That's your speed, and this is the speed limit here.
Okay, so I'm speeding.
Yeah,
a little
slightly,
but not very much.
Not very much.
Okay, so now we're 90. Oh God. I'm afraid to do that again.
Yeah.
That is certainly not going to ruin your weekend.
No, that is not going to ruin your weekend at all. It's going to enhance your weekend.
Yeah, that's that is quite unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do that again.
Just go a little bit further, and then so we're away from this truck.
Okay. That is just instant speed.
Yep. And that's you've only just touched it.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying there's more?
There's a lot more.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot more than that.
That sounds like I might have to use my advanced driving training to be able to handle this.
Perhaps.
I'm actually a bit scared.
You shouldn't be scared, because you can probably feel it's very solid with the.
Yeah, look, it handles like a sports car. I've owned sports cars in the past. You can just feel it in the steering wheel. The suspension's quite hard in this.
Yep.
Obviously by design.
Yep.
So,
and the other big thing is with internal combustion engine vehicles, with that engine, the center of gravity is up quite high.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, the battery pack is below our feet, so the center of gravity is very low, like a race car, basically.
Yeah.
Just let your foot off a little bit now.
Yeah.
And now hit it again hard.
Oh my God. That actually, it feels like you can feel the G's.
Yeah.
In when you put your foot down, that's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
That is quite amazing.
And you really get.
I actually never felt like I had a WRX, and you'd put your foot down there'd be turbo lag, but it wasn't anything like that.
Yeah.
That's quite amazing.
Yeah, Tesla makes the fastest production car in the world.
Okay.
Yeah, and the safest production car in the world as well.
So what's this time to get to 100?
3.3 seconds for this car.
That is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's a supercar.
Yeah, it's a supercar. So when I first got it, I took it to the Dandenong Ranges, south of Melbourne, and I was lucky enough to come up next to a Lamborghini at stoplights and absolutely smoked them off the line.
Just imagine.
Yeah.
Wow, that is. I I thought when you were driving me to the charging station that you'd actually blown the acceleration away when you sped up.
Oh, really?
I thought, he's given it away, but that is just something else.
Oh, you still haven't experienced all of it yet, correct? And when we were driving to the charging station, that was me putting around, basically.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I get it, but you did accelerate. I thought, well, okay,
yeah,
that's not bad.
Just take this corner with a bit. Yeah. You can feel it's very flat around the corner,
and it's just handling very well. Yeah, that's quite amazing.
It's great.
You could actually use this as a baseline car for all our F-35 pilots.
Yeah.
Just so that they get used to acceleration.
G-forces.
Yeah, G-forces.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like I need one of those suits.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do here? We're going to go straight.
Where's the freeway? To the left. Yeah. So we go left and then right onto the freeway. Okay. Hard down. We'll keep that on.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on. Yeah.
Suss that out. Oh, maybe. Okay.
So if you want to go.
Left.
We can go right and then do a U-ey.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So that way you can come onto the freeway, and you can accelerate onto that. So if there's no one behind you, this is probably a good spot. Yeah. Give it some.
Wow, that is just unbelievable. That is amazing.
And there's no gear changes, so you're going 0 to 100 with no gear changes at all.
Yeah. It's linear acceleration.
Yeah. Now, if you like, we can try Autopilot.
Yeah.
You happy with that? Yeah. So we'll stay in this lane.
Yeah.
Just double tap down on your right hand paddle, and the two blue lines are gonna
on this one.
Yep. Now you're in auto now.
Yeah.
Just be gently with the wheel. Yeah. Blue lines are on, so the cameras are locked onto the lines. You'll see it's right in the middle of the lane.
Yeah.
Because the cameras are so good, it's very precise. If you pull the wheel, it'll pull it out of.
Okay.
So now you're out. So double tap down again.
Yeah.
Anytime you want to come out, hit the paddle up or hit the brakes. But you see, it's picking up the speed limit. It's picking up these cars. Your right-hand scroll will adjust the maximum speed, so you can just try that.
Okay.
The scroll button here. So that's 100. So now it's 105. So it'll accelerate up to 105, but only if.
Yeah, there's no cars.
Yeah. Speed is picked up to 80, and now it should. Actually, let's look at it. Just bring it down to 80.
Okay. So how good's the steering on it? It'll go around the corners?
Yeah, absolutely. I had it in Youngala Ranges, just north of Mackay, a couple of weeks ago, and it's like this. Yeah. And the steering wheel was going like fully steering.
The only thing that's wrong with this situation is I don't have my coffee. Sitting there. Wow, so it's just going around the corner by itself.
Yep. Every now and then it'll prompt you just to apply a slight force, just to let it know that you're there. Okay, so that's good.
So not asleep yet. Yeah. Okay.
And what'll happen is if you didn't react to that, it would start beeping at you.
Yeah. Okay.
And then if you still didn't respond, it would assume that something's wrong.
Yeah.
It would slow you down. Yeah. Put the hazard lights on.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you had a heart attack or something happened,
Yeah, well, that could happen after accelerating in this car.
Yeah,
that's a possibility.
Yeah, absolutely. If you leave it here, it's actually going to come to a full stop.
Yeah.
And it'll accelerate off again when the car in front. Sorry to interrupt you. It's just,
that's good. I mean, I've seen that sort of technology on a car, but actually not in the sort of full steering mode that we're experiencing here.
Yeah. And this is developing very quickly. When I bought the car, a lot of these features weren't in it, but you're getting these software updates every couple.
Here,
yep.
Okay, so only because I want to go fast again.
Yeah.
And accelerate again. Okay, so
there's a BMW behind you, and you'll leave them in your dust.
Yeah, okay. Definitely handling that corner just like it's not there. Okay, so I'm gonna
all the way up. So if you're overtaking someone, you've got that to get around someone quickly, and away you go.
Yeah. Okay. So
shall we
yeah,
I know you need to get back to Parliament, so I'll just plug in Parliament into the GPS.
Okay, so I'll do a UE over the bridge.
Yep. Just over there. Yeah, so you'll exit over the bridge and then back. Yeah. So how are you feeling, Rex? Does that feel really solid? And
look, this is just a true sports car.
Yeah.
You know, it's got all of the handling, the feel of a sports car, except the acceleration just blows you away. It's I haven't felt that in a car before. I did go in another car, electric vehicle that had 2 motors, and I wasn't driving, but it felt really powerful, but not like that.
Yeah, because the internal combustion car, the torque curve, it has to build up.
No, it was an electric vehicle.
Oh, it was electric, sorry.
I wasn't driving, but so you know, I guess Tesla's not the only one doing this.
Yeah.
But I didn't experience what I experienced there.
Sorry to interrupt. If there's no one behind you, just come to a stop here.
Yeah.
You can stay on the road there.
Yeah.
Now we can do a proper 0 to 100 here if you like.
I'll just go out into the road.
We can actually do 0 to 110 here.
Okay, so here we go. Stopping and just
plant it hard. Go hard all the way.
Wow. That is unbelievable.
And just smoother.
Yeah. I can feel the blood. I'm sure the camera will show I went white. But,
this one does, as we said, this one does 0 to 103.3 seconds.
Yeah.
The Tesla just had their Model S Plaid launch last week.
Yeah.
It will do 0 to 101.9 seconds.
And they clearly do that just because they can.
Yeah, they want to hit you right in the limbic system, they say.
Yeah. Wow. And when's that car coming to Australia?
You can order it now.
Wow.
Yeah. They delivered the first 25 at the event.
Yeah.
Yeah. You thinking of getting one and driving it from Adelaide to Canberra?
Well, I'd love to run an election campaign in an electric vehicle around South Australia.
Yeah.
See if that is possible. I'm sure it is. Cooper Pedy obviously as an electorate is a fair way from the city, but I'm sure with the distance that you can go in this car, which is how many kilometres did you say?
460 kilometres.
460. I don't know if there's any fast charging stations up there, but you wouldn't try and drive all the way to Darwin in one go anyway. You would stop at a place like Cooper Pedy, and you're saying I can take a charging unit that will allow me to charge from a power point, is it?
Yeah, that's right. So when I took Bob Cat up, there's no fast charging stations in Charters Towers.
Yeah.
So I actually ran a cable into my hotel room and plugged it in. I had to unplug the kettle and plug in the charger, but I got enough charge overnight to take Bob for a drive.
Yeah.
But these cars, they've kind of been framed as not suitable for the regions, and it's just not true. They're actually fantastic in the regions.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, this car just feels like a regular sports car, except better.
Yeah.
I can't imagine why anyone would think that this is not suitable for being out in the regions.
Yeah, last week when I was coming down from Mackay, I did 2,000 kilometres in 2 days.
Yeah.
And I stopped at a few charging stations on the way.
Had a coffee.
Had a toilet break.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're more limited by how often you need to go to the bathroom than
the charge of the car. Yeah.
I mean, and the other the other thing we haven't talked about yet is air pollution. Our cities have quite a lot of diesel particulate pollution and carbon monoxide, and with a greater uptake of electric vehicles, it's going to reduce that, and it's going to mean incredible health benefits for everyone in our society.
Yeah, if you just imagine all of those cars going off the road. I mean, emissions are quite good nowadays, but there's still pollutants that come out the back of a vehicle. So, being able to rid a city of all of that would be fantastic. It's beyond me why the government hasn't come up with a plan, hasn't promoted electric vehicles, knowing it clearly doesn't ruin your weekend. It's a vehicle that gives you less cost in terms of maintenance. Doesn't pollute.
It's much safer.
Doesn't have any carbon emissions. If for people that care about that, I'm one of those people. But even if you didn't believe in climate change, why wouldn't you get a car like this?
Exactly.
You can adopt the precautionary principle and say, well, I think everyone's wrong about climate change, but I'm going to get a Tesla because it's a great car.
Exactly. It is a phenomenal car.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And even you mentioned cost, charging cost. This is a 75 kilowatt hour battery pack. If you charge it off peak for 10 cents a kilowatt hour, you're getting 460 kilometers for $7.50.
Yeah.
That's like a fifth of the cost of a petrol car.
Yeah. So it's not just the maintenance cost; the actual cost of driving around is a lot less.
Yep.
So, what's your current status in terms of you're clearly not paying any fuel excise? Are you confronted by any taxes anywhere? Road user charges?
Well,
we don't have any yet, do we?
Yeah. So I live in Victoria, so they are bringing in this road user tax, which only applies to electric vehicles.
Yeah.
So it is an electric vehicle tax essentially, and you can go for it. Go for it.
It's just, it's even safer. I'm now away from every other car that was at the traffic lights.
Yep. Exactly.
And it took me 2 seconds to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
you can almost get to 60 before you cross the intersection.
Yeah.
So Victoria has become the Victorian government's become the world's first government to introduce a tax on electric vehicles.
Yeah.
And it is such a shame, a disappointment.
Yeah, such a disincentive. Look, I think it eventually has to come, but right now we should be encouraging people to get a vehicle like this, and it actually does good, and to tax that is strange. I think Norway, I think, are confronting this issue now. They've got great uptake, but of course, in the end, you do have to pay for roads. But I presume this car's a lot lighter than similar cars.
It's 1.8 tons because of the battery pack, but there's no vibration in it.
Yeah.
So vibration of trucks and cars affects the road, but this car's obviously very smooth.
Yeah. Well, that surprised me, but so it's the battery that's the heavy bit.
Yep.
I guess that also helps with keeping the car on the road around corners.
That's
as well,
right.
So,
with the handling. Yeah.
But I presume when we lift the bonnet, I'm clearly not going to see an engine there.
No, we call that the frunk.
The frunk.
Yeah, the front trunk.
Okay.
And we can do that when we stop. Well, we can open up the frunk and you can put your groceries in there or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I presume you do that in the back as well.
There's a really large boot in the back.
Yeah.
There's no diff in it, so you've got a lot of space there.
Yeah.
It's actually called this is called a skateboard configuration.
Yeah.
So that's your whole battery pack there, which puts the center of gravity right down low and in the center of the car.
Yeah.
Rather than an internal combustion engine would be at the front.
Well, I will say that I'm actually ahead of the game here. Back in the 1980s, late 1980s, I actually spent a lot of time driving an electric vehicle. It was a submarine.
Oh, really?
So,
oh, wow.
Quite familiar with batteries.
Yeah.
Then, of course, we had to use a diesel engine to charge the battery occasionally.
Yeah.
But I remember on an Oberon-class submarine, when we used to go full speed, we would be drawing, I think it was 5 megawatts of power. So,
wow.
Look, the battery didn't last for very long at top speed, but that was the equivalent of a small test reactor.
Yeah, wow. And what was the reasoning for using electric in submarines?
Well, because it's quiet. It has it doesn't make any noise, so you could charge your battery using your diesels, then go into an operational area and run completely silently.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So it would just be the swoosh of the propellers?
Well, and the propellers are designed not to make noise. So when you're doing 3 or 4 knots in an operational area, it is just deadly silent. Of course, the other thing is when you're underwater, internal combustion engines require air.
Right.
So,
of course, yeah.
So the two go hand in hand. You want to have something that doesn't require air and doesn't require or doesn't make noise.
Doesn't make noise, yeah.
So
there you go.
And again, as would be the case here with a submarine, you don't have a gearbox. So there's gears also make noise. So you find on a nuclear powered submarine, the reactor is only there to provide heat to a steam turbine. The steam turbine then runs, but it might turn at say 3,000 RPM. The propeller needs to turn at 300.
Right. Okay.
So there's always a big set of gears between the turbine and the propeller, and that makes noise as well. But what I can say is that I'm well ahead of the game in terms of acceptance of electric vehicles.
Yeah, fantastic.
I've been doing it for about 4 decades.
Yeah, brilliant.
So,
there you go. Yeah, I mean, electric vehicles have been used in the past, and now, hopefully we'll see a rapid uptake of EVs in the future as well.
Yeah, I'm now even more convinced that our future submarine needs to have lithium-ion batteries, which it doesn't have. So,
yeah, right.
So,
and some of that lithium can possibly come from South Australia.
Yeah, well, certainly Australia has an abundance of lithium, and it really disappoints me that all we do is take it out of the ground and we export it to typically China, who then value add and turn it into batteries and then sell it back to us at a much greater cost. And that's an area, if we were smart, we would be adopting electric vehicles. It is the future. I mean, I've had people in government tell me that it's not for the government to make decisions as to what sort of vehicles we drive, but in actual fact they don't have to, because the car manufacturers have made this decision.
Yeah, exactly.
They are getting rid of internal combustion engine cars, and this is where the world is going. Look, it helps to have a car like this, which is just amazing. As a sports car, I'm sold. The government needs to jump on board here. If we had an industry that was working with electric vehicles, and I was successful getting the government to spend $5 million in Adelaide to assist a company called Ace Electric Vehicles spin up a local production facility. They're doing some vehicle-to-grid trials as well. We can have a situation where we are building electric vehicles, but more importantly, providing components into electric vehicles, not just in Australia, but around the world. I don't understand why we just export our rocks. We ought to be doing stuff.
Absolutely.
And EVs provide us with an opportunity. And you could then leverage that, leverage off that to build wall banks here for homes as well that might have solar and a combination of that renewable energy and the ability to store energy excess energy that you generate during the day.
Absolutely. And you know, imagine the benefits of manufacturing electric vehicles or batteries here in Australia, just even in terms of how proud we'll be of making Australian-made high value-added products again, like we used to.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I really like the Commodores, the Comcars that are used to transport us around Canberra and other places. They were great cars. Australia made a great car, and it was really, really sad to see that go. There are people that have attempted, but haven't been supported by government in transitioning away from electric vehicles to from ICE vehicles to electric vehicles, and they just haven't received the support of government. And it's like the government's driving along, looking in the rear vision mirror.
Yeah.
Clinging onto something that is, that is going to change.
Do you think that the government is actually doing that on purpose to try to preserve the profits of the fossil fuel, of the oil industry? Do you think that plays into it?
I don't know, because the difficulty I have is that if we look at all of the fossil fuel industries around Australia, almost all of them pay no corporate tax and pay very little petroleum rent resource tax. So, we've seen companies taking oil and gas that belongs to Australia, to Australians, taking it out from underneath the sea or underneath the ground, and exporting it, and Australians benefiting very little. Along the way, that industry has served us well, but it is time to change. We know about climate change. We've got to be changing.
Yep.
We've got to be moving away from that. So I don't accept that that we need to preserve those industries. Those industries themselves know that they are going to have to transition themselves.
Yes, that's right.
So it's beyond comprehension that our government hasn't worked out where this is all going.
Yeah. I had the fortune a few years ago of meeting Jens Stoltenberg, the current Secretary General of NATO and former Prime Minister of Norway. And he was Finance Minister in the 90s in Norway when Norway started taxing oil companies at 78% of their profits. And they've been doing that for 30 years now and built the Norwegian Sovereign Wealth Fund off that.
Trillions of dollars.
Yeah, it's $1.3 trillion now, and that's helped fund a lot of the incentives for electric vehicles in Norway, which is why you can give it if you want. Never gets old.
It doesn't.
Yeah, so that fund has helped them to drive the acceleration of electric vehicles in Norway, so that now 75% of new vehicles in Norway are electric, and they're banning the sale of petrol and diesel cars by 2025. 4 years. And the irony there is that, as you've suggested, Norway generated all of its wealth through North Sea oil, through fossil fuels, but they've taken that profit and they have now turned that into something that's extremely beneficial for their society.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, the air in Oslo is 30% cleaner today than what it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So every Norwegian citizen is benefiting from that policy now. Just they had the vision to do that 20 years ago.
And I could imagine driving something like this through some of the mountains of Norway,
fjords and everything.
It's a beautiful country, Norway. I've been there a few times.
It would be absolutely spectacular.
The only thing that would worry me about this car is giving it to young drivers that might use the acceleration in a
non-safe way.
I mean, I'm not sure I'd use the acceleration all of the time, but boy, it'd be good to know it's there.
Absolutely. It's nice to know you got it under the bonnet. Yeah.
You know, look, the reality is, when you're on the open highway and you want to overtake, having the ability to speed up quickly and then slow down just by lifting your foot off the accelerator, but to get around a vehicle quickly, I mean that's the safe use of the power that this car has.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that my only worry is putting this in the hands of perhaps a younger driver.
Yeah,
but,
maybe it needs like an L plate mode.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's what it needs.
Yeah. Maybe you should tweet Elon Musk and ask him to put that in the next software update.
An L plate, a P plate mode.
Yeah.
Now enter the roundabout. Take the second exit.
I mean, that's the big advantage of this technology as well, is that it's all electronic, it's all computerized. It can have software updates. I know that there's a number of police units in the US that are now using Model 3 Performances as their patrol cars.
Wow.
And they've actually worked with Tesla to develop their own user interface and their own software on the screen. So they've got a different setup for their cars.
Law enforcement mode.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the perfect car. This is the perfect highway patrol car, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, I've certainly had my eyes open to what's possible with electric motors and a battery.
Yeah, fantastic.
Just in terms of the sporty nature of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clearly not the only reason to get an electric vehicle, but
it helps.
Yes, it helps. And so I'm not sure I'd use it much, but good to know it's there.
Good to know it's there, yeah. I might just pan around because it's quite a nice view here. We're just driving up towards Parliament House. Yeah, I never...
Sadly, I have to leave the fun of driving this car to go and do legislating.
Yeah, right.
So I don't think anything else I do today will be quite as good.
We'll match that.
Yeah. You were saying.
It's just quite surreal for me to be here and to have people like yourself in the driver's seat. After a few weeks ago, I was up in Mackay and in central Queensland. So I really appreciate you coming for a drive today.
Well, the thing is, it's been a great pleasure. What concerns me is that, or the sadness about this is, I was sold before I got in the car to electric vehicles. I did a speech in the Senate last night about electric vehicles, the lack of a national strategy from the government, so I'm on board. I really hope the Matt Canavans of this world. Matt, if you're watching this video, you need to come out and have a drive of this. And maybe Scott Morrison, you need to have a drive as well, to see that this would actually make your weekend a lot better.
Yep. And I'm happy to take anyone for a drive.
Yeah.
So what my goal with this project is to put as many people in the driver's seat as I possibly can, and to let them experience this incredible technology for themselves.
Yeah. So I think we need to get some of the doubting Thomases into the car.
Yep.
Let them have a go, and let them speak honestly at the end of their trip.
Absolutely. So here we are at Parliament House. I was saying a couple of days ago, the last time I was here, there's a Model 3 there. Is that the Com car?
Yeah, that's the Com car.
Oh, there we go.
So there's a crack in the dam.
A crack in the dam, yeah.
The government purchasing a Tesla as a Com car.
Absolutely.
So we might stop here and have a look. And this is the Senate entrance.
Yep.
Now, what do I do to stop this now? Just
To park, it's actually so that's in reverse.
Yeah.
And the button on the end there will put you into park. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So the brake's on now.
Yep.
And we're done.
Senator Rex Patrick, thank you very much for driving this electric vehicle today.
That was awesome.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did.
Excellent.
Okay, do you want to look under the bonnet? That's
Yeah.
right.
So to pop the bonnet,